Stuff. So, here's the first thing. What is the worst position in wrestling? You got it. On your back is the worst position in wrestling. So, I'll just give you a little bit of philosophical thing, because I think it helps if you kind of know what direction you're going in wrestling. Because that's one of the biggest things is in wrestling is just don't do something stupid. You know, don't do something that's like that. So, especially when you're considering the bottom wrestling, your worst position is on the bottom. The best position is on your feet. So,
you hold that on for a second.
Wherever you are, try to get to a better position. If you find yourself here, that's not good. All right? That is not good. So if you're here, try to get something better. You can't go right from your back to your feet, but you can get better. So if you're here, get to here. What is better than this?
Your knees.
All right. Have you ever been on your belly but had a hard time getting to your knees? For example, Jordan Lean was in here. He had you on your belly, right? You were doing the leg thing. I mean, you were on your belly. He's going to make it hard for you to get off your belly. So, if you are here, sometimes you have a hard time coming right up to your knees. So, a little bit better than this is that. That's better, all right, than being flat on your belly. So from here, next best, that's better. So talking about worst is back, best is feet. What's better than this? Feet is better. Is there anything in between?
Knee slide position.
All right, so just so you know, and I'll tell you, just knowing this little fact itself can really help you get off the bottom and it prevents you from doing something dumb. Better than this is this, all right? A sit is not to your feet, but a sit is better than hands and knees. I can't tell you how many times I've had guys, you've been down there before, right? You're here, guys beat you up on top, you're maintaining, but just barely. And what happens? I watch this up, and again, I have a few things as a coach that are real pet peeves of mine, really get on my nerves. This gets on my nerves really bad when my guys do this. So they're down here, they're getting beat up from the top. So what do? They try to stand up. And what happens if you try to stand up from here?
Face plant.
Right? You'll see it when you up, you're going to see that out there 50 times if you just look around. Same thing from referee's position, you know, top guy on. You see it over and over and over again. So what's happened there? So if you think about it just from a common sense thing, you've gone from a half decent position to the next to the worst position in wrestling. It's next to the worst. So, worst, better, 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 best. Seems very, a big deal. That's actually really important to know. Because in wrestling, some guys can go from here to escaping in a half a second. I don't have any of those guys on my team. And I have some very good guys on my team right now. Nobody on my team can just go up and out. It's almost more like, you ever play those games when you go out to a restaurant, you flip over that thing, or maybe that's and you do those maze things, you find your way, you know, you start at this point, you find your way out, dead end, you gotta start again, dead end, okay. Wrestling from the bottom is a little bit like that. It's working your way out and not doing something stupid on the way. This is stupid, okay? That's putting you in a really, really bad position. So, first idea is, wherever you are in wrestling, go to something better. You don't have to get all the way out, just get something better. Get something better. Get something better. You just take stock, where are you? Get something better. At the same time, the same idea, wherever you are, don't go to anything worse. Say, well, no kidding. Give me another one. This one is top 3 most irritating things for me as a coach. You guys ever do a switch from the bottom? Guy does a switch, all right? Does a great switch here. I can't get it. So what does he do?
Belly.
Dumb. You just violated probably one of the most important principles. Maybe went from okay, better, pretty good, terrible. And you don't have to do it. So you don't go to anything worse. Probably worst case scenario, whatever your stand-up is, okay, say do this, you're up here. What does the guy do? You went from the best position to next to the worst in like a quarter second. That's really bad. So I'm going to give you some strategies to help you do those things. And as we go here, they're going to just help you. It's not going to be like these great move things. Well, some of them will be. But I think it's going to really help you. All right? Because I think bottom is one of those. It's kind of like if you do something stupid, it doesn't matter how much wrestling you know, how many moves you can't do any of them. All right? So that's number 1. And this is my last talking point here, and then we're going to get going. The other thing that's, like, to me, extremely important is you have to know what your number 1 priority is. That's true in life, all right? It's true in everything. You have to have sets of priorities. These things may be a lot of things important, but this one's the most important. This would be second important. This would be third. This is important, but it's down the list a little bit, all right? Single most important thing, wrestling from the bottom, is, kind of already talked about it, don't get in trouble. All right? Stay out of trouble. So we have to know what trouble is. So what's trouble? You should know 2 of them right off the bat. How do you know if you're in trouble off the bottom? Exactly. If you find yourself here, you are in trouble. All right? So if you didn't know that before, I'm telling you now, you're in trouble. So being on your back is trouble. What else is trouble? You should know the other one.
Second worst position.
If you are on your belly, you are in trouble, buddy. You are in trouble. So whatever you do, whatever move you're going to do, whichever direction you're going to do, don't go to your back. Don't go to your belly. That's why, like, exploding off the whistle, I think, is probably not a good strategy for just about everybody. It's going to end you up on your belly, and you're in trouble. So back is trouble. Belly is trouble. What else is trouble?
Not moving. Not moving.
Not moving is not going to help you usually, but you're not yet in trouble. Not moving can get you on your belly, which does put you in trouble. So what else do you really not want to have happen when you're on the bottom? Okay. He said wrist control. So, if a guy gets this on me, I am in trouble. If you wrestle in Pennsylvania and a guy gets that wrist across, he's probably got a 50% chance of tilting you. All right? The hazard roll tilt thing, you got a real good chance of getting turned, because that is not only effective, it is hard to get out of, that cross wrist strike. So, back is bad, belly is bad, cross wrist is bad, there's one more that's bad. And I might even consider this the worst one of all. Think about yesterday, what you learned in here. Legs. If a guy gets legs on you, you are in trouble. And I'm going to tell you why I think this is the most important thing. Because probably the thing that I am afraid of most of anything else for one of my guys to get in is a guy that gets legs in and power halves you. And you're here on the bottom and the guy's got two legs and you're like that, like this, and he's doing this. So the best, toughest guys fight the hardest. You know what happens when you fight this? You end up getting your shoulders like ripped out. And I've had more than a couple guys get hurt because the good guys just don't go over. They fight it and it's getting turned over. The referee doesn't stop it. Now my guy's hurt. I'd rather have him get pinned than be hurt and out. Matter of fact, if one of our guys gets in that, I'll just say, if the guy gets a power, lock your hands together. I don't care if you get called for stalling, at least you're not going to get hurt. So, whatever you do in wrestling, what you want to do from the bottom, improve positions. Wherever you are, get something better. Wherever you are, don't go to anything worse, and don't get in trouble. Don't go to your back. Don't go to your belly. Protect this arm from being chopped and grabbed here, and don't let him get legs in. All right, done talking. But those things are all going to factor into everything that we do here on teaching. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to say that we somehow got up to our feet. We're going to work on getting up there, but we're going to get away first. We're going to get away from the guy. So, the really good thing about this, it is completely pain-free. So I got to my feet. I'm going to be the guy from behind. It's almost like I'm on the bottom. He's going to like be referee's position while we're on our feet. So he's going to have his right hand on my belly. He's going to have his left hand kind of, hooked over my arm like this. When I come up, I'm going to force him to be in this position. All right? So we're going to get away from here. A couple things we want to do. First of all, I do not want to do this. Why not?
Suck back.
You got it. Okay. On the belly side, that foot is out with a bent knee. See what it does to my hips? When I put my foot out and give a little bit of back pressure, not this kind of back pressure, but a little bit of back pressure, it gives me some hip distance, which is really good in getting away. Probably, once you get to your feet, this is the biggest mistake you're going to make. You're going to have a tendency to try to grab his hands, but you're going to look for it first. And look what happens when I look for his hands. My hips go back in. If my hips go back in, I'm going to have a hard time of getting away. So, belly side foot out, knee bent, a little bit of back pressure gives me some hip space. From here, this hand is kind of like a wet piece of paper on a window. It's hard to like peel it off until you get something under it, and once you get something under it, it comes right off. But it can be stuck. I wear a contact lens. It's just stuck to my eye right now because there's no air behind it. I've got to peel it off. Well, this hand is sometimes, believe it or not, even though he's just hand holding on, it's hard to get it unsealed from there. So, on the opposite arm, this thumb right here really works well to get this hand unsealed from my belly. So I'm going to go across. That thumb is going to scrape right inside between my belly and his hand. Now I can grab it with two hands and I can scrape it off, twist my hip out, and I'm not going to do any kind of big fancy turn around. All I'm going to do is just really pivot on my feet. So, feet. Guy behind you is like referee's position, but he's going to have a little bit tight. He's going to be hooked over your arm. Yeah, holding you tight. Belly side foot out. You can even turn your foot in a little bit because we're going to kind of twist that hip out. Opposite thumb inside the hand. Grab hand with two. Scrape his hand off my belly. Kind of put it behind my hip. Twist my hip out. All right. So we're just going to get away from here. It seems like a simple thing, but I've seen so many guys get to their feet and they don't get away. You've got to get away every single time you get to your feet. All right? Give it a try. Ready? 1, 2.